Hello, I'm David Lockington, Music Director of Your Modesto Symphony, and I'd like to invite you to our concert on February the 7th and 8th. We're going to be featuring the incredible pianist Stephen Hough. He'll be playing Rachmaninoff's Second Piano Concerto, and we're also going to be featuring one of the great storytelling pieces in the orchestral repertoire, Scheherazade by Rimsky-Korsakov. Rachmaninoff's Second Piano Concerto is one of the great triumphs out of the ashes of a disaster that Rachmaninoff encountered at the end of the 19th century. His first symphony had been a dismal failure. It was poorly prepared by a conductor who was probably drunk at the time. And Rachmaninoff spent a long time getting over this. He actually went to a hypnotist who convinced him of his ability to write great music, and the Second Piano Concerto is the result. It was a piece that I first heard when I was a young person, probably 11 or 12, as the movie music for Brief Encounter, and I was really struck by the pathos, the sadness of the story, and the music was just a perfect corollary for it. Stephen Hough is one of the great interpreters of Rachmaninoff. He's one of the greatest pianists of our time, and I've known him for a long time. I've worked with him a number of times, and it's such a great joy to be able to present him here in Modesto in my final season as music director. The story of the 19th century is one of growing nationalism. And so Russian composers at the end of the 19th century wanted to create a musical art form that reflected their culture and their folk culture. They were interested in colorism in music and in the exotic and in storytelling. And Rimsky-Korsakov, in his 1888 piece Scheherazade, captures this incredible relationship between Scheherazade telling stories for her life. The Sultan has married her, he's bumped off wives before him who have told him stories that haven't interested him, and Scheherazade captures his interest, and at the end of the evening storytelling, it's like a cliffhanger. He cannot send her to the executioner. He has to hear the end of the story. And so there are 4 episodes in this wonderful piece that are like cliffhangers. Scheherazade is represented by the violin soloist, the concertmaster, this lovely, sinuous, sort of exotic line that represents her telling a story, sort of spinning a story. At the very beginning, we hear this mighty voice of the Sultan, rather terrifying in his seriousness. But she spins these stories throughout this piece of Sinbad the Sailor, of the bazaar, of a love story, and of a final crash at sea. And we're completely captivated by Rimsky-Korsakov's incredible orchestration. He was a part of a group called the Mighty Handful of composers, and in some ways he was the most professional of them. He really knew how to take an orchestra, make it sound the best. So this is kind of a virtuoso showpiece for the orchestra, featuring a lot of solo instruments as well as a big romantic orchestral sound. So we hope you'll come and enjoy us on February the 7th and 8th, the Modesto Symphony at the Gallo Center for the Arts, and we'll see you there.